Week 6 is upon us, and we've actually still got 3 teams that are undefeated also. And we're also coming up to a game that... All right, Daniel. We're also coming up to a game that actually has the largest spread in NFL history.
Largest spread.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Cardinals at 49ers, I think. What game is the Thursday night game?
If the
Unfortunately, our producer actually is a fan of the 49ers, so I'm not exactly sure if the 49ers is the Thursday night game.
If the technical director didn't show her fanhood, week in, week out.
Well, let's start with the Cardinals at the 49ers.
Why not?
And coming off of a week that 49ers just completely destroyed another team, and the Cardinals did much of the same.
Yeah, but the Cardinals faced a lesser opponent than
True.
The 49ers did. The 49ers are home. This isn't really a contest. 49ers win.
49ers win. Giants at Bears.
Giants look so bad. Eli Manning, over-under Eli Manning, 2.5 interceptions against the Bears.
Over. Way over.
All right.
You have 12 interceptions through 5 games right now, and you're going up against one of the top defenses as far as takeaways. Way over 3.
All right.
Bears win. Bengals at the Bills.
This is a really, really interesting test. Bills are kind of an up-and-coming team. You've seen glimpses of them that have been really good. Bengals are the same thing. Some people said the Bengals were going to be in the Super Bowl this year. I haven't seen a lot out of the Bengals. I've been really high on them. I think they're going to kick it into high gear later on in the season and take this division. This is a very interesting matchup, in my opinion. I think the Bengals win. I think the Bengals win because their defense can stop C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson up front.
Emmanuel's not playing.
Exactly. And yeah.
That kind of helps.
Yeah, but that's a team that relies a lot on their running game. And I think Cincinnati being able to stop that running game up front is going to go leaps and bounds from I think Bengals win.
I completely agree. Cincinnati wins this game. Lions at the Browns. And NFC North versus AFC North at this point. And the Browns are atop the division. The Lions are not.
Well, the Lions have games. They've been one of the most explosive offensively teams in the NFL. They've looked amazing in some games. If Calvin Johnson's back, I see them falling just short in this game. I'm going to go with the Browns at home. That defense, I think, is for real. I don't think the offense is that good. I don't think the offense is that talented, especially with Whedon and Richardson not there anymore. But I think that defense does just enough to stop Megatron and Reggie Bush and gives that offense a chance to win the game. And I think the Browns pull off at the end.
Plus or minus 2 sacks for Sue.
Plus.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got Lions winning this game.
I see this as being an ugly 13-10 game.
Eagles at the Buccaneers. The Bucs have to win some game. It has to be this one. Yep. I really think the Bucs actually put it together. They're actually going to have Glennon actually start this game and actually do. I think this is his second straight week of performing, or third week now performing. Let's see what Glennon can do against this Eagles defense, which isn't that solid. It's played well, but it's not as solid as
secondary is very vulnerable.
Let's see what they can do against Philadelphia. As far as the offense is concerned, Vic's not playing. It'll be Foles running that offense. Foles looked really good last week running that offense, but at the same time, it was against the Giants. I think Tampa Bay's defense is better than New York's defense, and I think they hold them better than Philadelphia does. So I think the Bucs win this game at home.
I think the Falcons win. Falcons, pardon me. I get all the Eagle team mixed up, all the Bird teams, all the. My bad. I'm going with the Eagles on the road to this one. I think Nick Foles leads that team to victory on the road. I think he's a better quarterback than Michael Vick. I think LaShawn McCoy has a huge game.
One of the undefeated teams going up against this weekend is against the Oakland Raiders. The Kansas City Chiefs are now 5-0.
Very interesting game in this one.
I agree. I think this game is actually going to hold some merit. This is a game to really see what Oakland's team can put up.
I would say the same thing holds true for Kansas City. They're going up against an Oakland team that is on the roll. I mean, they're on a roll with Terrell Pryor at quarterback. The only game they've lost the past few games is when TP wasn't playing. I think this is a really telltale sign type of game for both teams.
Matt Flynn has been released, if you guys hadn't heard this week. He was released by the Raiders. Let's see if he lands somewhere. There's got to be some
Matt Flynn has an uncanny ability to make young, athletic black quarterbacks amazing in the NFL. He's just awesome.
That is really good analysis.
No, he's just really good at it. Russell Wilson now TP. Hey, maybe they bring him to Philadelphia. I know Vic's not young, but maybe they try to push him again.
Chiefs at home.
No,
you're taking the Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders. Yeah. I really like Terrell Pryor in that offense, Denarius Moore, Darren McFadden. I really like what they can do. I like the specialty players. I'm going with the Raiders on the road on this one.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this one at home. Now, if it was turned, I think the Raiders win if it's at home. But with it being in Kansas City, I think the Chiefs win. Steelers at the Jets. This game is really intriguing just simply because the Steelers are coming off of a bye week. And I think they had all week to actually prepare for the Jets. So let's see what they can do.
All week to prepare for a horrible team?
Do you really think so what's your pick? You're saying next. What's wrong?
Where's that?
In New York.
It's in New York. I tell you who the fans are gonna be the winner because it won't be sold out and be blacked out in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Jets. They're at home. I don't know, who cares?
Steeler Nation's not gonna show up in New York, really?
I wouldn't. If I was a Steelers fan, I'd start boycotting the team. I would block the tunnel at Heinz Field and tell every single one of those football players to give me that jersey because they don't deserve to be wearing that.
I think the Jets win too, especially coming off this big win against the Falcons this past weekend.
Jets are at home. They're crappy, so there's a crappy game.
Green Bay Packers at the Baltimore Ravens. This is a really intriguing game just to see what the two powerhouses, two teams that were thought to go to the playoffs this year. Let's see what they can actually do against each other this
Absolutely,
week.
Yeah. These are two teams that were perennial favorites to win their division and go to the playoffs and make kind of a push at the beginning of the season. And both teams have kind of been floundering early on in the season. You have Baltimore that opens up with a huge loss against Denver and really hasn't found its footing yet. And you have the Green Bay Packers who have had some key losses. They've already had their bye, so I might hurt them a little bit later in the season. But I think this is kind of a – I don't want to say a must-win because we're really early on in the season, but I think this is kind of one of those games that you can gauge your performance on.
I think the Packers win this game. I don't think the Ravens have enough to hold the Packers' offense in check.
I agree. I think it's going to be a very offensive game. I don't think the Ravens have enough talent on the defensive side to stop the Packers, and I think the Packers are going to put up 40-plus points on this defense.
Rams at the Texans. Wow. This game would have been as close
had the
6 months ago.
Had the Texans not just gotten completely embarrassed this past week.
I mean, Matt Shaw was benched in the last game, and you can't blame him for getting benched because, he's been awful.
Atrocious.
So
I'm gonna go with the Texans in this one. I mean, the Texans, they're at home. I don't see a way that they lose this game, honestly.
I agree. I think the Texans win at home, but I think it's just simply because their defense actually holds up. Their offense isn't good enough now.
I think it's on the back of Ben Tate and Aaron Foster. I think they really carry the load in this game. I think both of them. I think Aaron Foster goes over the century mark, and I think Ben Tate is at the 50-55.
I hope he goes over the century mark. Just saying.
Is he in your league or our league?
In our league. On my team.
Who you play? You playing me? You're not playing me.
No,
I don't care what he does, though. I need Ben Tate to do a lot, though. I do need Ben Tate to do a lot.
Texans at home. Panthers at the Vikings. Vikings win this game because the Panthers they really showed signs of being good this earlier in the season, and then
Adrian Peterson runs for about $150.
$150.
Yeah,
I'll take that one too.
Carolina is just awful. Josh Freeman does Josh Freeman start at all this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't push it past. I think actually the Vikings have. I don't think it's this weekend or next weekend, but I think it may be the weekend after. Or it may be next weekend, whatever their bye weekend is. I really think that will give Josh Freeman enough time to actually sit down, read the book.
Is he a better option than Matt Castle?
Yes.
Okay.
As for that offensive line, I think Josh Freeman has the ability to get out of the pocket, which Matt Castle doesn't have as much ability as Freeman. And I think.
Does the trade for does the trade for Freeman make them a contender in their division?
I don't think it was a trade. It was a sign.
Sign, pardon me. They released him. Does this make them a contender in their division?
Not a contender. I think they'll actually play to maybe get a wild card.
Okay.
But I mean, with Adrian Peterson, you can do so much.
I agree.
And I mean, they won. They had a playoff game last year, so let's see what they can do this year. Jaguars at the Broncos. The biggest point spread in NFL history right now is at 28 points.
Dude, this is gonna be hilarious to watch. This is gonna be like a high school team playing like a JV 8-year-old team or something.
Here's the great thing for me. Okay, Peyton Manning is in one of my fantasy leagues.
I hate you.
He doesn't go out of blowouts. He continues to play, which is great for me because against Jacksonville, this will be great.
I have Monte Ball, who doesn't touch the ball or see the field. He won't. He hasn't.
He may.
He hasn't all year. He hasn't.
I would start him.
I might. I just don't have an option of running back.
You're picking the Seahawks? Daniel's picking the Seahawks. He sent that one in.
I thought we were still in the Broncos game. I didn't have my pick for the Broncos.
I mean, not Jaguars. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
He's picking the Jaguars.
Absolutely.
He sent that one in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Broncos.
Titans at Seahawks. The Seahawks win this game because it's at home. It's hard for Titans.
The Titans win this game, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Yes, I think the Seahawks are a pretender. They're not as good as I've said this all year. The Seahawks are a pretender. They're not as good as they have looked in some of the games. I think when they go up against a quality opponent, they really mess themselves, other than the 49ers game. I really do not think the Seahawks are a good, legitimate NFC championship contender. I think the Titans go in and beat them. I really do.
Fitzpatrick at the helm.
Yep, with Fitzpatrick at the helm. I think Chris Johnson finds his feet this weekend against a really, really good Seahawks defense.
I don't think.
I have a gut feeling.
I think the Seahawks win at home, partially because their defense is as good as we think it is. I mean, even though last week they gave up some points, but I really think them with the 12th man, it's going to be hard for them to win. Saints at Patriots. This game is going to be really interesting.
Saints.
I agree.
No.
I think the Saints' offense is way better than the New England's offense right now.
I agree. New England's offense is reeling. They might get Gronk back this week, but that doesn't make up for the lack of
And they may actually get Austin Collie this week. They signed him last week before the start of Week 5, but I think Austin Collie may play this week too.
Oh, that's going to help them out a little, but the gap that is between the wide receiver core and Brady, it's awful. Saints win this one on the road.
Redskins Cowboys.
We win this one at home, no doubt.
No doubt.
Coming off that emotional loss, we're going to put up some
plus or minus 400 yards for Romo through the air.
Minus.
Really?
Yeah, I think they do a healthy dose of DeMarco Murray. He looked pretty good in the Denver game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really spelled DeMarco Murray a lot in this game. We looked phenomenal. My faith in Dallas was restored after a loss. After a loss.
Well, I mean, you guys put up 48 points on Denver, which is a phenomenal defense.
Speaking
of Denver's defense and special teams only put up 4 points in fantasy football this week. 4 points. So I feel you. Cowboys win this game at home. Colts at Chargers. I'll go ahead and tell you my pick because this is just my feel. And he may agree with me just simply because I know where his allegiances lie to a certain degree with a love child as opposed to his mind going home field. I think Colts win this game.
I love Andrew Luck, man. I would hardly ever pick against that guy. He's what I want. He was what I would want in a franchise.
You notice he said hardly.
Yeah. He is what I would want in a franchise quarterback. He is who I'd want to lead my team to victory. I'm going with the Colts.
Ooh, you picked a lot of road games this week.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, willy-nilly. I'm so far down in the pick 'em, it doesn't matter. I got to pick upsets and just pray. I'm 10 picks behind. I'm 10 picks. We've been through 5 weeks, and I'm 10 picks.
And I'm 1 pick.
I need a whole week of upsets where I just pick I'm going to pick the Jags this week.
Yeah, are you?
No.
Yeah, but that's what Daniel's going to pick.
Probably. That's why he's suspended.
That's it for our Week 6 preview. Be sure to check back next week and enjoy the games this weekend, guys. It's a really good slate of games this week.
Absolutely.
For Bryce, I'm Billy. Thanks, guys, for watching.